Hello, students. Continuing with our chapter memory organization, today we will discuss auxiliary memory. As you know, the auxiliary memory is secondary memory. It has characteristics like it is it have huge storage, it is cheaper, and it is comparatively slower. The most common auxiliary devices are magnetic disk and magnetic tapes. Magnetic drum, optical discs are other examples of auxiliary devices. The magnetic disk tapes and these auxiliary memory devices are dependent on principles of magnetics, electronics, optics, and electromechanical systems. The important characteristics of an auxiliary memory is the access mode, access time, transfer rate, and capacity and cost. So in cost, they are cheaper. In capacity, their capacity is huge. Transfer rate is comparatively slow. Access time is comparatively high. So access time is defined as seek time plus transfer time. So seek time is time to position the read write head to the particular location from where we want to read the data or write the data. And transfer time is time to transfer data or block of data. Transfer rate is the number of characters or word that the device can transfer per second per unit of time. The number of words or characters that can be transferred is called transfer rate. So let us talk about magnetic disks. So the disks are made of circular plates of metal or plastic, and these are coated with magnetized material. Both sides of the magnetic disk or the circular plate is used. Several discs may be stacked on a spindle, so there can be a spindle on which there are several such plates. Read write heads are available on each surface, so we have read write head on each surface in magnetic disk. All discs rotate together at high speed, so when we want to read or write, the disk rotates at high speed and all the disks rotate together. Bits are stored in a magnetized surface. So the bits are stored on the surface in a magnetized format. Concentric circles are called tracks, and tracks are divided into sectors that you can see here. So this is a circular disc which is made of plastic or uh, magnetized material coating is there on this. So this is the read write head. Concentric, these are called tracks. So this is track 1, track 2, and so on. And tracks are further divided into sectors. So concentric circles are called tracks, and tracks are divided into sections which are called sectors. So this is a diagrammatic view of a magnetic disk. Now you can see that a track near the circumference is longer than the track near the center of the disk. So here you can see that this track near the circumference is longer than the track near the center. So if the bits are recorded in equal density, then some tracks will have more bits than others. Some disk uses variable recording density. So with higher density near the center and lower density near the circumference, that equalizes the number of bits on all tracks. The read write process. So minimum quantity of information which can be transferred is a sector. So a complete sector is transferred as a minimum value. A single read write head may be used for each disk surface. So there can be a single read write head for each surface. In that case, whenever we will give the address, track address bits, they will be used to move the head into the specified track. So because there is only one read write head, so as and when you will provide some address bits, then the read write head will move to the particular track. Or separate read write head may be used for each track in each surface. So there can be separate read write head also. In that case, when address is given, a particular read write head is selected for that particular track. So this is how the read write operation is performed. Now the second type of auxiliary device is memory is magnetic tape. So magnetic tape is a strip of plastic which is coated with a magnetic recording material, and the bits are recorded in form of magnetic spots. So magnetic spots along with the several tracks. So there are several tracks also on the tape. So 7 to 9 bits are recorded simultaneously to form a character. So if we do the coding, say ASCII coding of characters and other coding, then 7 to 9 characters will be in bits will be enough to characterize one character, and one character is recorded simultaneously using 7 to 9 bits. So read write heads are mounted on each track. So data is recorded and read as a sequence of characters. So data is directly read as sequence of characters by using multiple read write heads, one for each track. Then movement, the tape can be stopped, started, or moved forward or reversed. So there is a mechanism that in by which the tape can be stopped, started, and move forward or in reverse. They can be started or stopped between characters. They cannot be started or between characters because there is a very small gap between characters. So if we'll start and stop the tape, it will not stop immediately or not start immediately with its full speed. So information is recorded in blocks called records. So information is recorded in blocks called records, and record may be fixed or variable length records. Gaps of unrecorded tape are inserted between records. So if between two records there will be gap of unrecorded tape. So that tape starts moving and stops using these gaps. So when you start the tape move, it will take its constant speed and the decided speed after using gap. And when you stop it, it will use the gap to stop completely. So how the addressing is done? Each record has its ID bit pattern in the beginning and also in the end. So by reading the ID at the beginning, the record number is identified, and by reading the ID at the end, beginning of a gap is identified. So address is done by specifying the record number. So record number is specified when you want to play something, and then it is identified by the bit pattern in the beginning and the end. So these are the references. Thank you very much.